Guys, comes down to that question. Will you be ready? A lot of people aren't. That's the reality. So in my lane of survival, I often talk to people about the 4 things that they should always be thinking about related to survival, whether it's your home, whether it's in your go bag, or right here, whether it's in your vehicle. So today we're going to talk about an automobile go bag or ready bag for your vehicle. What you should have in your automobile to be ready should the worst happen. All right, guys, I always talk about 4 critical things we're going to need is water, warmth and shelter, food, and then defense. Thankfully, in my vehicle, you can do this in a box, guys. Just have a box with this stuff in the trunk of your car. For me, I have one of the newer Suburbans. They have these awesome trays. On top, guys, first and foremost, I have a gallon of water. Keep a gallon of water in your car. You never know, you get stuck. Having this water fresh, ready to go. I may not be close to water that I can pump. I have my water purification. We'll talk about that. I also have this water reservoir, this jug, these Domatec jugs. You can buy these anywhere. Go online, find out Domatec. These things are awesome. My MSR Guardian pump screws right into the top of this, makes it super easy to fill if I'm by a stream or someplace where I've got some water. All right, guys, once again, I talked about water. In the back of my car, in my car go bag, I have an MSR Purification pump. This is my go-to, no matter how nasty the water is, as long as it's fresh water, I can pump right out of a mud puddle. I have this ready to go. I have my Nalgene bottle, so I got a hard bottle that I got something to pump in. I also talked about the Domatec. Number 2, guys, is gonna be warmth and shelter. If you're in a cold environment, the inside of this car, if it dies, is gonna get real cold. Same thing if it's super hot, you're gonna be sitting in an oven. So you wanna think about shelter. How do I protect myself? I have a poncho liner. This is something that I can string up in some vegetation. I can create shade. I can get out of this car and figure out what my next steps are. Am I setting up camp for a short period of time? This will also protect me from the rain. I also have, this is a 30-degree bag. This is a great bag. Now, I may get cold during the night if it gets down below. If it's 0 degrees, I might get cold, but this bag will help me survive. Guys, the next thing is gonna be food. As you know, my Patriot meals are the way to go, my ready-to-eat meals. I have several of these in my car, several days worth of food, and I have my jet boil that I can boil my water and I can be ready to go. The last thing I want to talk about, guys, is defense and tools. So I am a big fan. I have a tomahawk in this car. That way, if I need to chop wood, God forbid, I needed to defend myself, I have this. I have cordage. I have light. I have a jump starter if I need it. I have various tools. Oftentimes I'm traveling with weapons, so I got backup 5.56, backup 9mm. I've got first aid kits. I have multiple first aid kits. I have an Israeli stretcher for moving people. And then the last thing I have light. These things work great. This is a Defiant. I bought this at Lowe's, guys, like 10 bucks. It's waterproof. You can do different settings. You can put a strobe on if you need to set it behind the car. And then I also have some chem lights to be able to continue to light my path. All right, guys, and the 4th thing, of course, is defense. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, God forbid, man, woman, child, unfortunately, there's a lot of nefarious people that are looking for opportunities like this. I at least have an edge weapon in my go bag. I already talked about the tomahawk. Guys, I'm a big fan of redundancy. I'm always carrying my knife, and most of the time I have my everyday carry weapon. I am not a fan of leaving a firearm in a vehicle. People break in, they'll steal them. I talked about the backup ammo. That just gives me extra ammunition. God forbid the world fell apart and I'm stuck out in the middle of nowhere forever. So anyways, guys, that is your car go bag blowout kit. I highly recommend having those 4 things. One more time, guys, it is water, it is warmth, shelter, it is food, and last is defense. I want to say a big shout out to My Patriot Meals for sponsoring this. Guys, will you be ready? Do stuff like this and you will be.